Is the Renis Alma really our only hope against the Great Spirit? There has to be another way, right?
Shion's Fire Master Core was able to suppress astral energy to prevent it from gaining sentience, right? Couldn't we make use of that somehow?
I'm not sure. In small doses, maybe. But with the amount of energy we're talking about here.
Back in Calaglia, the Blazing Sword was able to take in a whole spirit vessel's worth of energy. If it has the capacity to manage that, it can do this, right?
Except after it absorbed the energy, it ended up releasing it all moments later, remember? Let's not forget, it nearly killed you. Besides, this is the Great Spirit we're talking about, not a paltry vessel. Even if I could use the Master Core, your body wouldn't be able to take the strain of channeling that much energy.
Hevrect 35 didn't mention it, and it did not seem the type to skimp on details, so assuming it's even possible, the chances are slim to none.
You're probably right.
You still thinking about what the scientists told us? About where Renins really come from?
I am, but not for myself.
You're worried about the future of the Renin people.
The fact that our people have been the same this whole time will only give the Danans further reason to resent us.
But you still intend to confront this truth head-on, don't you?
Well, I did declare that I would live my life for the living, and not the dead. Even as I dream of retirement, I shall remain dedicated to the cause.
I'm sure you'll do great.
Now that I think about it, I don't believe I've ever heard you criticize or reproach us Renins even once.
I'm no saint. I have skeletons in my closet too. There was definitely a time when I hated Renins for who they were. I hated them just for being Renin. But you changed that, Dohalim. You gave me an opportunity to see them in a different light. Thanks to your reforms, we were able to stand next to Renins not as slaves, but as equals for the first time in our lives. Of course, I'm sure there were some Renins who still hated us on the inside. But we knew that not all of you were like that. There were those of you who were good, and that was a start. When it comes down to it, Renins are just people. They can be good or bad, just like Danans.
That is, in essence, the heart of your approach, isn't it? That we're all people.
Yeah, it is. When you can pull someone aside and talk to them one-on-one, then you have the chance to come to an understanding. But as soon as you stereotype, that chance goes away, and you stop thinking of them as people that you can relate to.
I understand what you're saying. But we're talking about massive numbers of Renins and Danans alike. Realistically speaking, surely they won't all be able to get along.
Even if we end up butting heads with one person, maybe we'll find better luck among their friends. If we can build a society that works like that, that'll be something worth nurturing and protecting.
So you wish for people to form real bonds and do away with the hierarchy outright? To deal with one another as humans, and nothing more. That's the ideal future you hope to see when this is all over?
Yes, I do. I think it would make for a fine tribute to my brother's legacy. Though, that said, I would be doing it for the people of the future first and foremost. Do you still plan to return to Lenegis when this is over?
Indeed I do. I don't know whether I'll be able to reside in Lenegis proper, however. My first order of business may be to find somewhere to live.
You'll always have a home in Menencia, you know.
As I shall ever keep in mind.
Well, If you ever need a helping hand, don't hesitate to come get me. I'll always be there for you, Doe.
Did you just... Never mind. Thank you, Kisara. I appreciate your patience as I work all this out.
Don't even mention it. And really, when you think about it, now that we know the two of us aren't so different after all, don't you think that brings down a barrier that used to be between us?
You know, I hadn't actually thought of it that way before. But I do like the sound of it.
Yeah, I think I do too.
Hey, why'd you call me here? Was there something you wanted to talk about?
Well, if everything we've heard about the Great Spirit is true, then we're getting close to our final battle. So I wanted to apologize while I can.
Apologize? For what?
I was being real stupid before, about whether Dana's will had been controlling us and all that. I get why you're angry now. Anybody would be if something they trusted was being questioned. So, I'm sorry, Rinwell. Really. I should have kept my mouth shut.
No, Law. Honestly, I think you might have been onto something. Of course you were worried. Who wouldn't be if they found out there might be some invisible force pulling our strings this whole time?
But you really trust Dana's will, don't you? Is it because you can sense it a lot more than the rest of us? Because you can understand it?
Yeah, I think that might be part of it. But I think I also want to believe it's good.
Believe?
Remember how I used to really resent coming from a family of mages?
Yeah, of course. Because you were always on the run and had to live in hiding.
When we rescued Zephyr and I finally decided to come along with you all, something changed inside me. It was the first time I felt like my powers had any meaning, even if that meaning was only helping you guys fight. Then, when I felt Dana's will, I was overwhelmed by how vast and warm it was. It made me want to believe my powers were made to connect with it. It made me believe I had a bigger purpose.
So that's why you hope it doesn't turn out to be bad. You almost need it to be kind.
Yeah.
Well, alright. Then I promise I'll lay off bad-mouthing it.
You will?
There's no way for me to know for sure one way or the other, right? But you trust it, Rinwell, and that's enough for me. So I'll trust it because you do.
Remember what I said about neither planet's great spirit reaching us here?
Yeah?
That's not quite true. I can feel just a little bit of Rena's inside you and everyone else.
You... what?
I sensed it when we first got here. It's a really small amount, so it doesn't feel like it has a will of its own. But I think that's how Dana's energy probably is too.
So you're saying there's a little bit of Dana's will inside each of us? In a way, doesn't that mean we're all Dana's will?
What?
Well, like you said, unless Dana's energy comes together, it has no will. So if we all have a little bit of Dana's astral energy inside us...
Yeah, maybe...
Hefric 35 might know the answer. But, you know what? I don't need to ask it. My will is my own. I fight for who I want to fight for. That's who I am now. Who I've become. So thanks, Rinwell, for sharing that with me.
Ah.
To be honest, the only reason I was suspicious of Dana's will, well, I mean, it mostly was... I feel like you and I had grown apart lately, and I was worried it was because...
Huh?
Never mind. Nothing. Just forget about it.
Huh? No, what were you saying?
Saying? I don't remember
Come
saying
on.
anything.
Now you won't tell me what you were
No,
thinking?
that's not what I'm
Then
saying.
spit it out already.
You sure you don't want to get some rest?
I can't. I've got too much on my mind. Especially knowing how close our last battle is. How are you doing, Shion?
Same as you, still trying to absorb everything.
Remember when it was so simple? We were only fighting all the lords on Dana? All of that feels like a lifetime ago, doesn't it?
Ages and ages ago. Everything that's happened since we first met. So many fights, so much chaos, so many wonderful people.
If I hadn't run into you that day, well, I wouldn't have met all of you. I never would have held the blazing sword or looked for something more. I wouldn't have my memories back. I'd still be a faceless slave, like as not long dead.
Hey, Alphen. I want you to promise me something.
Yeah?
If we can't find the Renis Alma, there's something I want you to do. Like Hevrect 35 said, the only way we can end the Great Spirit for good is to go after both the main body in Rena and the thorns in me. I need you to promise me, Alphen, that if for some reason we can't get the Renis Alma back, you'll use the blazing sword to destroy the Great Spirit, and me along with it.
Huh?
It's true the blazing sword may not have the strength of the Renis Alma. But it's taken us this far. It's slain lords and beasts. At the very least, it has to be worth a try.
You can't be serious. Have you forgotten everything that
Listen,
we...
the Great Spirit isn't just our problem. It's a threat to our entire world. Renans and Danans alike. We don't know what's going to happen when we face it, but we need to be prepared for anything. We can't second-guess ourselves when the time comes. I promise you, I'm not planning on going anywhere. I'm prepared to fight with absolutely everything I've got. But if it comes down to it, I need you to be prepared too.
Okay. But you should know that I'm not going to give up on you, Shion. I'm going to fight this until the very end. I hope you can forgive me for that.
Alphen. Okay, I understand. And I'll forgive you.
Thank you, Shion.
So it's a promise then?
Yeah, it's a promise.
I remember how I felt the first time you touched me. My thorns made any contact a mistake no one would ever make twice. After they'd seen what could happen, fear would always linger behind their eyes. In my entire life, I never had someone willingly reach out to me. But when you reached out to me and gently took my hand, you didn't react at all. It was so easy for you. I don't have words for the shock I felt in that moment.
That's because I couldn't feel pain back then.
Even once you could, though, you still chose to keep reaching out to me. And when you did, I felt this warmth that I had never known before. But still, I hate having to see you suffer through it every time you do.
You won't have to worry about that for much longer.
You think so?
I do, because Shion,
No. You can tell me once my thorns are gone. Okay?
Yeah. Okay. Everybody get enough rest? You ready for this?
Yeah, we should probably get moving.
Agreed. Can't stand around waiting all day.
Our task is relatively straightforward. We need only descend down to Rena, defeat the Great Spirit, and restore stability to both worlds.
We're fighting for a new future for both Dana and Rena.
Right. We've come this far. We will save our worlds. That's a promise.
Then let's go, everybody. We've got one last wall to tear down.
Repairs on your starship are complete. Everything is in working order.
Is that you, Hevrek 35? You can see us from where you are?
I can. I can see anywhere within the bounds of Dake Phasal.
Sounds like someone's a peeping Tom.
Maybe we should give Hevrek 35 a break. It has been stuck in this tiny facility for a very, very long time.
I have unlocked all functions on your starship. You can now make use of its warp drive.
Warp drive? Wait, you mean like what the Red Women used on us? What brought us here?
It's possible that the Red Women may have found a way to activate it on the starship. They are Helganquil, after all.
Using the warp drive, you should be able to breach Rena's atmosphere without being detected.
Wait, should?
You'll need to be careful. Due to the force field surrounding Rena, the ship will be unable to go any further than the surface of the planet.
So, once we reach the shell, it appears we'll have to infiltrate the core by foot. Understood.
We gotta go all the way down just walking?
Will all the Helganquil go back to normal once we defeat the Great Spirit? I have a strange feeling we're going to have to fight them before this is all over.
The extinction of my people is inevitable at this stage. As such, it would be illogical to risk the success of the mission in a vain attempt to save my kind.
We understand.
Can't that thing lighten up a bit? Everything it says seems to be about what's illogical.
Well, come on, Doe.
Hold up, did you just...
You heard the lady. Get going.
I have one last question.
What?
As Sovereign, your identification number indicates that you are well past your predicted life expectancy. Similarly, the Maiden lacks any identification number, as her function should have been rendered unnecessary. Despite this, the two of you continue to exist. Why?
We exist because others have entrusted this to us. Over the years, many people have come together and sworn to see this through to the end.
You mean it is because of multiple chance interactions? The likelihood of such events is statistically improbable. Why have you two continued to persist under these conditions?
It's hard to explain. To be honest, I don't think it's something an observer could understand. All right, time to get back on the Fall Knights.
It would appear that our Helganquil host really has fulfilled its end of the bargain.
You know what that means. Time to go to Rena.
I guess this means we should give that warp drive a spin.
There's nothing here. This weird ocean we're surrounded by just stretches out everywhere. Is this really where the Helganquil come from?
I don't sense even a trace of astral energy. This world is dead.
Then this must be the hollowing.
You mean to tell me this whole world, the entire ocean is that stuff?
And it's covering everything. The entire planet.
This is what the Great Spirit does. After it depleted this planet of every last speck of astral energy, it went after Dana.
So arresting. This world of doom.
Back in its day, Rena was probably just as vibrant as Dana is. But after being robbed of its astral energy for so long, those days are gone and past. This is all that will remain.
So the Great Spirit took everything. It stole energy not just from living beings, but the land, the sea, everything.
And it bound the Helganquil in servitude until their whole world was nothing but this. And by the looks of it, that's how it remains to this day. A world of death and emptiness.
With nothing left here to consume, the Great Spirit turned its sights on Dana, looking for another host.
You're saying if we don't stop it, this is what Dana's going to look like?
We can be sure that even these few remaining remnants of Renan life will not be spared in the end.
If the oblivion and darkness both Shion and Naori saw comes to pass, nothing will survive. It looks like we can climb down from there. Let's take a look.
So this is Rena. This is where everything began. Yet it's a dead world?
I won't let Dana suffer the same fate, ever.
A hollowed ocean as far as the eye can see. What do you think would happen if we fell in?
What do you mean, what would happen? You'd drown, wouldn't you?
Come to think of it, I don't believe I've heard of someone ever trying. Perhaps you'd like the glory of being the first?
Nah, I'll pass.
This is essentially a world-sized Renan graveyard. Are you proposing to disturb the dead slumber just to satisfy your curiosity, Law?
No, because I said I passed.
Taking an interest is understandable, but let's not forget where we are. This place deserves our respect.
Looks like we're not going to be hearing the end of this one for a while.
You'd think I was already snorkeling in it or something. So the idea is to seal the Great Spirit inside the Renaissance using the Sovereign and Maiden's power. But just how do we do that exactly?
I'm guessing it won't be as easy as holding a spirit channeling ceremony at our leisure.
I already had wielded astral energy once 3 centuries ago. As for suppressing her thorns, Shion's had a lifetime's experience. The problem isn't just our enemy's strength. It's that it's sentient, too. And you can bet anything you like it's not going to just sit back and let us destroy it.
In other words, we need to find some way to weaken it in advance. The Great Spirit, that is.
Back when Shion's thorns flew out of control, we were able to deal with them directly. If this is their host, they should be even more corporeal here.
If that's the case, it should make them easier to attack at least. And if we can manage to divert enough energy away from the spirit's core, even temporarily,
we might just be able to weaken it enough to steal the Renis Alma, which we can then use to steal it away forever. It won't be easy, but it's our only shot. Time to buckle up. Question for you. Let's say, knock on wood, everything turns out for the best.
What'll the world be like? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of this, do you really think everything will be that different?
A lot will have to change, that's for sure. The world will have to adjust to so much. My only worry is if those changes turn out to be merely skin deep.
what do you mean?
It's well and good putting an end to Renin rule. But if it just turns the tables, it's all for naught.
That's true. Just as bad if the Danans started pressing their own.
Renins, Danans, astral art users, mages. The world is full of labels used to divide and separate people.
If only we could see differences like that for what they are. No different to someone having a musical talent or being good with their hands. Not differences so much as characteristics.
It will take someone in power to set an example. But with time, people will follow. And then, perhaps one day...
There will no longer be any need for the example. It will have become second nature.
That's where we come in. We can set the example. Imagine it. A world where magic and astral arts are used to help people. Where that's the norm rather than the exception.
Yeah, you're right, Rinwell. Why wait for somebody else? We can show them ourselves.
Looks like we've warped into that pit of astral energy.
I wonder what Helganquil civilization was like at its zenith.
I can imagine that'd be something you'd take an interest in.
There's no question it must have been advanced, like none either world has ever seen. We could surely stand to learn a thing or two from such a people.
I get that you're itching to delve into its history, but we've got bigger fish to fry right now.
Put a pin in it, and you can do all the research you want when you retire.
I can think of worse things than a retirement dedicated to research. As for whether Rena is amenable to an aging specimen...
It's a little early to be giving it serious thought just yet.
A man can dream, though. A man can dream.
Oh, we didn't say there's anything wrong with dreaming.
In your case, Dohalim, dreams have a habit of spiraling into something else.
You'll need to stay with us for now, though. You're too helpful to let retire.
Why do I feel this is less of a compliment and more of an ultimatum?
Just a friendly suggestion.
Hey! Hey, I just realized something!
Is this about dinner last night? I didn't realize those ingredients were off.
What? No! I mean, wait, you fed us rotten food?
Rinwell, the point.
Oh, yeah, right. So I was thinking about those armored soldiers we've seen. There are regular Renins inside them, right?
Yeah, they're designed to make whoever's wearing them stronger. At least, I think that's the idea.
Right. So it kind of begs the question then, why are they made so huge?
I don't know, makes them more intimidating, I guess? Or maybe all that tech wizardry inside takes up a lot of space.
You don't think it's weird how the armored soldiers are the exact same height as the Helganquil?
Can't say I'd ever noticed it till now. And?
Connect the dots, Law!
Okay, let me get this straight. You think the armored suits might have originally been designed to allow Renans to work alongside the Helganquil?
Huh. But if that's true, what would that mean?
It would mean... just that, I guess. But still, don't you think it's kind of interesting?
Not hugely. Hey, Kisara, well, I've got you. What's on tonight's menu? Because I was thinking, maybe meat?
Get him, Hoodle.
What did I do?
Oh, now you want to listen. Keep pecking, Hoodle!
Ow! Seriously, what the hell? You know, guys, when you think about it, we've taken out a lot of Zeugles. Like, a whole lot.
You can say that again. If one thing's for certain in this world, it's that wherever we go, we'll always end up bumping into them.
Isn't it weird that they're still so plentiful? You don't think the Renans have, like, a ranch where they breed them, do you?
Certainly in all of my years, I've never heard of them constructing such a massive facility on Dana, let alone up in Lenegis.
The only thing I can think of, then, is that the feral ones must be reproducing on their own.
There's also no organized effort on our part to hunt them down, so it's difficult to fully exterminate them.
Exterminate them? Whoa, don't you think that's maybe a little harsh?
What do you mean?
Zeugles originally used to be living creatures native to Dana and Rena, right? Being genetically modified isn't their fault.
You're right. Zeugles were only created because of us Renans. We altered the original creatures to suit our own ends.
First, people made Zeugles, and then we let them go. And now we're trying to kill them because they're a threat. They really have only seen the very worst, huh?
I hope we find a way to be able to live side by side with them one day.
It's a nice thought, but they attack towns and cities. What else are we supposed to do?
Aside from the strays that have gone wild, it's worth remembering that Renans are able to keep them somewhat under control.
If we had distinct territories that didn't overlap, that might reduce the danger they pose.
Well, I guess when you look at it that way, maybe people and Zeugles aren't so different after all.
Helganquil!
Guess they don't need their Red Woman disguises anymore.
Wait, can you understand us?
It's no use. We're not going to get through to them.
So they really are being controlled. In that case, we've got no choice.
I knew there was something off here!
They're not pulling punches. We have no choice but to beat them at their own gate.
Be still! Okay, here I go. Coming through! Ha! Melt! Scarlet Inferno!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished.
There you go, Alvin!
It's time to end this battle.
I'm right beside you!
Take this! I'll take you all on! Great! Next!
As impressive as always.
Here I hope there was improvement.
No, I mean, you're even better than ever. I've never seen Xion actually look flustered.
We're cleaning house.
Let me take the rest of them!
Wow, someone's feeling lively.
Take this! The flame inside me!
Free! Kisara! All yours, Kisara!
Alphen.
I can't forgive them for what they've done, but I hate killing them. They don't even know why they're fighting. How does that even make them any different from the Danan slaves?
Perhaps. However, if we don't make a choice, the guilt of not doing anything will be that much worse.
Yeah, I know. I hate for it to be like this. But if it happens again, you won't find me hesitating to act.
I wonder if we're going to get attacked again.
If we lose heart now, this whole mission is over. We have to stay the course.
I thought there'd be more dirt and rocks and stuff underneath the hollowed ocean, but it's all artificial.
I would imagine they're remnants left behind by the Helganquil, seeing as there's little actual land remaining.
It's incredible. Do you think it stretches all the way down to the center of the planet?
Hey, these guys built Lenegus, remember? He probably did this in a weekend.
If they had the power to create things like this, did they really only use those immense capabilities to serve the Great Spirit? Or rather, was that the only use the Great Spirit let them use their capabilities for? We haven't seen anyone here except Helganquil. Looks like this place really is their home planet.
The true citizens of Rena. What a shame that they have become nothing more than puppets to the Great Spirit. To think of the promise their accomplishments once held. They had the potential to be great indeed.
Do you think we could have got along with them? You know, if we had met under different circumstances. Like
all of us, you mean? I suppose it's difficult to say for sure. We don't even know if they would see us as being on an equal level with them or not.
I think we may have had the chance once, before the Renan Great Spirit came along and changed everything.
You and Alphen both share an optimism. A strong willingness to believe in hope.
Do you think that's foolish?
On the contrary, I should like to take a leaf from your book myself. In tragedy's aftermath, hope is all we have.
Just look at the size of that thing. The Helganquil's technology certainly is impressive. And they don't seem to do things by halves either. In the past 300 years. No, even before that. Just how many people, Renan or Danon, do you think have ever seen this?
Regarding the past 3 centuries at least, I'd say there's a good chance that we're the first. Also, while I get that it's impressive and all, I'm just amazed you're still standing around gawping at it at a time like this. Sometimes I wonder about your priorities.
I can understand where he's coming from. More to the point, does anyone know where it leads?
What do you mean where it leads? To the center of the planet, of course.
And that doesn't strike you as sounding just a little bit, oh, I don't know, far? There has to be a quicker way to get there, right?
Yeah. With all this technology at their fingertips, it seems pretty unlikely that they'd make that kind of journey on foot. There must be some kind of device somewhere. Let's see if we can figure out how to use it.
Borrow one of their contraptions? You're either brave or out of your mind.
If it works for them, there's no reason it wouldn't for us. Why make things harder for ourselves?
You know what he's like, Law. Once he gets an idea in his head, there's no talking him out of it.
Leave the ensnaring to me.
I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw!
Am I on a roll or what?
Well, look who's in a bright and shiny mood.
I wonder how the Renans avoided being mind-controlled like the Helganquil. Do you think it might have something to do with the fact that they were originally Danons?
I'd say it's likely. Which is pretty ironic when you think about it.
Ironic?
The Renans have committed grave injustices against the Danans. But it was all of their own volition, not because they were being controlled. Now, it turns out they themselves were once Danans too.
Which must mean that the root of their evil isn't the Great Spirit, but something inherent in all of us. Our free will.
Now hang on, though. It was that same free will that allowed Shion and Dohalim to choose to fight alongside us. Without it, we wouldn't have been able to beat hatred and forge all those connections we've made. Free will is what saved us, right?
Law's entirely right. In any case, it certainly can't hurt to look on the bright side every now and then.
Yeah. Where there's hope, there's a way.
What'd he say?
He said, without a doubt.
Is this a dead end?
It appears this whole room functions as an elevator. That apparatus there is likely what's used to control it.
What the? Where did they come from?
Less worry, more action. Concentrate.
The flame inside is sure to be let free. That button is striking you now. Look out, fires!
I've got this. Let a monster
Eat
handle
them.
it.
All yours. Through escape. Dragon Swarm. All finishing come one, come all. Dragon Swarm. Strike. Hurricane.
We never will.
I'm not done. You're finished. Inferno.
Whirling struggle.
More sequels?
Keep calm and take them down.
Do it! Kisara! Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone!
You're my turn!
Enemies incoming!
There as you cross me, then we'll take them
Where
down.
are you going?
All
Round and
good
ready!
things come to an end.
Soaring Light Spear! Kisara! Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone! Here I
More?
go!
I'm not done!
I'm on a roll now! Ringwell!
Frozen.
Hammer!
Now! You're mine!
Where are you going?
Devastation! Soaring Light Spear!
Now!
You're on! Kisara! Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone!
More?
I'm on a roll now!
I'm not done! Lunar Rondo! Rising Sky!
Hear my call!
You know what? It really makes me realize.
Makes you realize what?
Maybe thinking too much gets in the way sometimes.
Exactly.
Now!
Don't think.
All yours, Kisara!
More? Here I come! Through escape!
Can't get out of this.
Frozen.
Hammer!
Like more?
You see what happened there as you crossed me. Shouldn't have done that.
I never miss!
Devastation! Lunar Rondo!
Here it is! Good work! Demons descend!
Flashing bang!
Easy! Way to go!
Soaring Light Spear! Devastation! Dragon Swarm!
Now!
Now you see what I can do.
Take this!
Eat this!
Dragon Swarm! Lightning Thrust! Strike!
I'm on whirling struggle. Where you go?
Fantastic! Great! Amazing!
Shut up, Law. I'm trying to focus.
I wasn't trying to be nice. You're after all the truth.
Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade!
Am I on a roll or what?
Well, look who's in a bright and shiny mood.
Even in such a harsh environment as this, there are still creatures here?
You think they're native to Rena? Or could they be Zeugles somehow?
Whatever they are, they're dangerous. Watch yourselves around them. You think that pit stretches all the way to Rena's core?
If that's true, and if we go down, we should find the Great Spirit at the bottom.
We could get there even faster if we simply jump down instead.
You sound alarmingly serious when you say that.
I won't forgive you!
Hey, when did I get so popular?
These things really get on my nerves.
Pesky airborne scoundrels.
Sounds like a job for yours truly.
I'll stop your movement!
And I'll stop your life! No! My turn! See what happened there as you crossed me. Shouldn't have done that.
Sleep now.
Be still! Dragon form! I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw! Light burst forth!
Radiant Genesis!
I've been doing really great lately.
This will be a delicious piece of cake. Laser spear. Holy land!
Eternal devastation!
Now!
Demon's descent! Flashing fang!
Way to go!
Lewis kick! Not today! I'm on it!
Freeze laser! Here's a healing art!
Dragon form!
Shooting
Sword rain out! Prepare to be seized!
I'm just getting started!
Leave the ensnaring to me.
Yeah! Pummeling to me!
More with that kick!
No further! Dragon form!
Now!
I'll stop your movement!
And I'll stop your life! Not a chance! I'm not done! Dragon form! Sword rain alpha!
Now! Ridwell! Frozen!
Hammer!
This could be useful.
Gotta break through! The
Where
flame
are you
inside
going?
me yearns to be let free! Easter!
Raging storm!
Dragon
Your
form!
head! Looks like a
Sword rain
bear!
alpha!
Ready
Dragon flash! Eternal devastation!
Awesome! Finish without a trace! Lightning
Leave the ensnaring to me.
Yeah! Now one up pummeling to me! In a vine storm coming for this!
Into the shadows!
Dragon form! Now one up! Crush! Eat that! Sword rain alpha! Light burst forth!
Radiant Genesis!
My turn! The picture of I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw!
Here's a healing art!
Dragon form!
Razor Cyclone!
Dragon form!
Hold together, just a little longer.
Thanks for the sympathy.
Get it together. We need you informed. Eat dirt.
Dragon
This
form!
one's mine. Feel.
Now you see what I can do! Take
Get
this!
on in there with the
Move
others.
the picture of hell! Straight up!
I can do
Get
it.
down! Rising head!
Air
I'm
thrust.
not done! Watch this! So much for sitting this fight out.
That wouldn't be a complaint, actually.
Nope, that is
Freeze
silly.
laser.
Megasonic thrust!
Lunar corruption.
Raining flash!
I don't even know the word defeat.
Be still!
Illuminated
My turn!
I'll heal you. The waters of creation.
The flame inside me!
Immortal astral energy.
Say no more!
This should come in handy when crafting weapons.
Hey, new equipment! Guess I misread the landing. An opponent like this should be easy. Not today! Dragon's time to cross blade!
Outstanding form.
Now I'm real mad!
Here's a healing.
No further!
Pull myself together. The waters of
Armor won't save us! Watch this!
By the power of mine. Finish without a hurt.
Raging flare! I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw! I'll finish you here and now!
Dragon swarm! Megasonic thrust!
Glacial
A whirling
I'll take this!
First force.
Be still! Dragon swarm! The flame inside me yearns to be let free!
Healing circle. Excited.
Now, let loose! Be still! Devastation!
Anything in order.
Take this! Dragon swarm!
Magic is there.
I'll stop its charge!
Thanks, Kisara. Healing word. Now.
More! Look sharp! Lightning tiger blade! This could be useful. These structures don't look like anything built by the Renans, or even what we saw in the Forbidden Zone.
Perhaps this is the true architectural style of the Helganquil. Or perhaps the opposite, given their situation.
You mean like how some places favor building stuff with stone, while others rely on wood?
That's an interesting way of looking at it. I'll have to inquire with Hevrecht 35 about it sometime.
Gotta break through!
Take
The waters of creation.
Dragon swarm! I'm like bait to them!
Immortal drop.
Try harder! Not a chance!
Insects should stay on the ground. Where are you going?
Dragon! Got flyers!
I've got this. Let a marksman handle it.
Take this! All yours!
Freeze Lancer.
Flaming thrust!
Prepare to be sealed, O fleet of foot. Actually, perhaps ground is more appropriate.
Let's
Not
go see
today!
more doing.
Dragon swarm! Swordblade Alpha!
Now.
You're mine!
I'll stop your movement!
And I'll stop your life!
My turn!
Radiant
Not a
blast.
chance!
Rain down into a nightmare.
Stunner! Devastation!
Back into the fray.
Mirage! Dragon
Annihilation.
swarm!
Meteor storm.
Swordblade
Now.
Alpha!
Kisara, go for it.
Prepare to crumble!
The waters
My
of
turn.
creation.
Hey! Strike! Dragon swarm! Hey, I'm pretty lucky.
Get lost.
Here I come! Come one, come all! Dragon swarm!
Now you see what I can do!
Take this!
Glacial spear.
I'm not
Here's
done.
evil.
Swordblade Alpha!
Eagle fly. Get toasty.
Burn
Barely a blip on our radar.
Right, here we go!
This one's mine!
Here we go again.
You picked the wrong fight! Dragon Force! It can hide itself? Amazing! Blow away! Eternal devastation! I'm not done!
Come on, roll now! The water's magic is there! Right away! There! And again!
In a bind?
Mega Ray!
Dragon Force!
Come on, roll now!
Blow away!
I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw!
Lunar corruption!
Take this!
Lunar blast!
Dragon Force!
Can't be
Tornado Alpha!
Whoa!
Flamin' Fire is yours to be let free!
Celestial blast!
Mirage!
Let me help!
Why'd you heal me?
To stop you dying?
Right. Try harder! Now! Here I come!
Armor won't save you!
Escape!
Far enough!
Light Astrolabe!
I hope this thing is
Magic
medically
is
appropriate.
there!
Now!
Dazzle! Glimmer Flash!
Healing
I'm starting last sphere!
It's
devastation! I don't know what I'd do without you.
Perhaps now isn't the time?
I really don't.
These enemies aren't to me! This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
I know fine weapon material when I see it. Those thorns.
I'm not letting them get in our way!
This might be some decent equipment.
Anything that makes battles easier is okay by me.
This will be a delicious feast to bring you down. Mega Ray!
Ignite!
Annihilation!
In a bind?
I'll finish you here! The waters of creation!
Got fire!
I'm done! Let us run and handle it!
All yours!
You got
Here I come! I'm not done! Dragon Force! Be still!
These sticks have got your name on them!
You're mine! No escape! Eternal devastation!
I can do this all day!
Here! Dragon Swarm!
I can carve through
We
armor!
barely managed to turn that battle.
You don't need to sound surprised.
Now!
Perhaps I'll put more faith in you
Prepare
then.
to be
Well, I
seized.
certainly won't argue. Actually, perhaps bound is more appropriate.
Let's talk in more duels. A whirling
Blow away! Eternal devastation!
Do it! This ends now!
Consider yourself finished! With your flames and my technique,
We're stronger together than we are apart.
no choice.
Here I go! One more!
You're mine! No escape! Megasonic
Laser
Drop!
Spear! Pierce evil!
Raining Drop!
Rain down!
Sword Rain Alpha!
Here's a healing art! First aid!
Now I can let loose.
This one's mine!
Pieces! Attack time! I'm just getting started!
Be still!
A whirling storm!
Powered hurricane!
Raining Spear!
Outstanding form!
I'm just getting
This is bad, right?
Yes, I'll
I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw! First strike! Armor won't save you! I'm right behind you! Sword!
Let me help. Banana!
Hurricane! Shion!
Get toasty!
Burn strike!
Am I on a roll or what?
Well, look who's in a bright and shiny mood.
Let's dispose of the trash. Can do.
Why'd you human?
Stop me, dying.
I'll stop your movement!
And I'll stop your life! Now I'm in the groove!
Radiant illuminate the dark!
Rising Watcher! Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno! Double Demon Fang!
Lightning Radiant!
I'll finish you here!
Nice. No scratches on my shield or my armor.
I won't forget you!
I can carve through armor! Here I come! The flame inside me!
Never miss.
Let's free!
Charge like that could easily be fatal.
Just as well, I'm here to stop.
Go away! Just enough! Super swallow game! Swallow! Try this! Denied! Too slow! You're done!
I'll stop your movement!
And I'll stop your life! Step back! This one's all law!
The design of this equipment is really interesting.
You must really like it, Alphen.
Let's dispose of the
Armor won't
trash.
save you! Sword Alpha! Now in the groove! Eternal devastation! Super swallow game! Demon Fang! Watch this! Eat this!
I'll stop your movement!
And I'll stop your life! Too slow! Nothing comes by me!
We are!
Undefeatable!
Unflappable!
Unfazable.
And most of all, we're free!
Little help!
Take this!
Here I go!
Dragon Swarm! Step back. This one's all law.
Right, here goes!
Now you see what I can do.
Not today! Dragon form!
Steel Force!
Sword Lane
Careful!
Alpha!
Electric camouflage!
I'm on a roll now.
Be still!
I won't struggle!
It's over!
Winds of heaven! First force!
Rising Falcon!
In here!
I'm not...
Oh, now I'm real mad.
Let's go! I never miss!
Dragon Swarm!
Raging Storm!
I don't know what I'll do without you.
I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw! Watch this!
Megasonic Thrust! Lightning Thrust! Take this!
All
Oh
good
no!
things come
Try
to an
harder! Not a chance! This one keeps charging us!
That's what my shield's for. Get behind me.
Got it! I'll leave it to you!
I'll finish you here
I don't feel like my usual self.
Are you alright? Let me handle this one.
So sorry to
Not
disappoint you.
today! Dragon Swarm!
One more time!
Be still! And more of this and I'll burn out!
Now I'm in trouble. I really owe you.
That's my cue.
Shut him down! Move
Now,
away!
Light burst forth.
Radiant Genesis!
I've used a bit too much healing.
I won't forgive you!
Take this!
Doctor ordered!
Start up!
Eagle assault.
Here's a healing arc!
In a bind.
Dragon
Forward. I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw! I'll finish you here and now!
Start up!
Thanks for the healing.
Watch yourself, okay?
Yeah, you too.
Spear!
Gemini Aqua!
Rising
This one's mine!
Ignite!
Blossom! I'll smash you!
Sword Lane Alpha! Dragon
Swarm!
Swarm! Lightning Thrust!
Outstanding form.
Start up!
Storm!
You're on!
Watch it!
Lost in pain.
I'll take this!
Glacier Spear.
Here's the evil!
Dragon Swarm! Megasonic Thrust! Dragon Swarm!
I owe you, Sion.
Healing is what my arts do best.
All mine can do is cause havoc and destruction.
Now I take this!
There you go! Don't let up!
Burn in hell! Sword Lane Alpha!
Now I'm in the groove!
Be still!
Illuminate the dark!
Armor won't save you! Eat this!
Dragon Swarm! Still!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
We won that by a mile!
We got some good equipment!
I can't. Can't say its appearance is to my tastes, personally.
Hi, Hoodle! Sleep now! This one's mine! Lightning
I'll finish you here and now! Take
Glacier
this!
Spear! Here's the evil! Illuminate the
Storm!
Holy Lift!
No further! Oh! Now I'm real mad!
I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw! Burn in hell! I'm on it! Sword Rain Alpha! Lightning slash! Crush! Sword! Be still!
Magic is there!
Here I come! Crush! Soda! Winter devastation! What is that? Hey, you okay?
I can still do this.
Dragon Sword! Blazing Flame!
I can't hold on much longer!
You see what happened there as you crossed me? Shouldn't have done that.
Dance in the wind! See how the
Perfect
shadows!
target!
I'll be saving the best!
Sword Rain Alpha! Crumble!
Magic is
Rain!
there!
I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw! You're
You
mine!
illuminate the
Move
dark!
up!
Astral energy!
Say no more. That astral energy was incredible.
I gave it everything I had.
It'll be a breeze. Get in, get out.
Here, this one's mine! Illuminate the flame!
As if the normal creepy crawly went through disgusting enough.
You're mine!
Explosion! Lightning
Swallow
storm!
dance!
The water is cold now!
Infernal Flame!
Immortal dropper!
Super Swallow Dance! I'm on your mark!
Standing form!
Infernal Flame! Hellish Hurricane! Demon Flame! Take a blow! Strike! Whipping Flame! Demon Flame! Eat dirt! Ready and wear it!
Here's a healing art!
Demon Flame! Hellish Hurricane!
It looks like you got it!
Coming through! Ha! Melt! Scarlet Inferno!
Shining Supernova! Moving Divinity!
All good things come to an end. Vacuum Blade! Rip it! Now I'm in the blue! Now I'm real mad! Killing Storm! Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade! Guess we don't know our own strength.
You could say that again.
This will be a delicious piece of cake!
Not my finest. Stay away from our friend! Dragon Swarm! Sword Rain Alpha!
I'll bring you back from death to this!
Dragon Swarm!
I'll bring
got
you back
flyers.
from death to this!
Surely!
In an instant.
Impact Claw! My turn! Take it!
So much for sitting this fight out.
That wouldn't be a complaint,
Nope, that is silly.
Now!
Demons Descent! Flashing Fang!
Easy! Way to go!
Try harder! My turn! Crush! I can carve through armor!
Razor Cyclone! Where are you going?
Time to let it rip! First strike! Dragon Swarm!
By the power of the Elder!
Be still! Now I'm in the groove! Dragon Swarm! Watch this!
Explosion! Captain Swirl!
Sword Rain Alpha! Watch it! Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
Here, let me help.
You picked the wrong fight!
Now!
Dragon Swarm! Now I'm in the groove! Sword Rain Alpha! You're mine!
Annihilate! creation. This ends now!
Consider yourself finished.
Am I on a roll or what?
Well, look who's in a bright and shiny mood.
No choice.
Bring you down.
The flaming I can carve through.
What's this?
You picked the wrong fight.
Here comes.
You're mine. I'm not done.
Lunar blast. Photon
Oh, you see what happened there as you crossed me.
Mega
Shouldn't have
Sonic
done
Rock.
Thunderbolt.
It's
Illusion. Holy Land.
Inferno Punch. Blew away.
Just getting started.
By the Finish them.
I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw!
Let's hear you show you what my art can do.
I'm not done.
I'm nearly done for.
Dragon Form. Here. Sword Rain Alpha.
Get toasty!
Burn Strike.
Right, next one.
Already up! Now or never.
Be still. Start up.
Freaking does it!
Take this!
This one's all mine.
I'll finish you here and now! Got by not too long ago. Raging flame!
Sword Rain Alpha.
Watch this!
Raining Slash. Eternal Devastation. Lightning Slug.
I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw!
I'm on it. Watch
Drilling
out.
Form! Astral energy! Full throttle!
The heavens must be smiling.
What do you think this place was for? Ah!
What the hell? Are they asleep?
No, they appear to be well preserved. However, they are all dead.
Dead? So this is a mass grave?
Looks that way. However, none of them appear to be Helganquil.
Bear in mind that Renans were originally Danans, who were remade and sent to live on Lenegis. Knowing that, they would have needed a place to perform the procedures somewhere.
And that place is here, I assume.
So what you're saying is that all of these are Danon, or rather, Renin bodies?
Most likely, yes. It must have been abandoned for one reason or another.
There are so many of them. They were all taken away, but never given the chance to wake.
What is that thing?
Something we have to fight if we want to get across, it seems.
Be careful. It's huge.
all the huge lumbering beasts lately.
No ordinary zoo, that much is damn sure.
Watch yourself. All bets are off when it comes to this thing. Take this!
Now you see what I can do. Rising Tornado Alpha! I'm just getting started.
Radiant Blast!
Storm!
The flame inside me yearns to be let free. You picked the wrong fight.
Radiant
Just getting started.
Here, let me help.
Rising Falcon!
Its head is a weak point? We'll need to bring it down somehow to hit it.
In that case, let's start with the one in the middle.
Dragon
Mega Ray! Water after
Tornado Alpha!
Things
Ray!
Lightning Thrust!
Light after
I'm just getting started.
I'm having trouble.
What's
Thunder of
this?
Devastation!
Winds of heaven! First force!
Rising
I'm on it.
Radiant Blast! Air thrust!
Take this.
Here, let me help.
Stardust! Be still! Rising Phoenix!
Where are you going?
I can do this all day.
Rising Light Spear!
Swallow there. Wanna roll now? Awesome.
Burn in hell! Thunder of Devastation! Devastation! Rising Falcon!
Raging Storm!
Castle!
Smash you! Razor Cyclone! Celestial now!
Spear!
It's over! Astral Energy! Full throttle!
I tear you apart.
Super Power
Do you require a hand?
In a bind. Raging Flame.
Take this! The flame inside me yearns to be let free!
Oh, Riley,
Rising Falcon! Crumble!
If it's in the sky, it's not.
Blow away! Here I come!
Tidal wave!
First strike! Stardust!
This one's mine!
Rising
Oh,
Falcon!
now you're talking.
To the wind! Field!
Now you see what I can do.
They're crumbling!
Now we beat the crap out of it.
Remind me to stay on your good side.
Dazzle! Soaring Light Spear!
They're not playing around!
Devastation!
Out of their way!
Rising Falcon!
Do this all
The flame
day.
inside me yearns to be let free!
Raging Flame.
Burning
Over there. What's this?
Burn in hell!
Sleep now! Healing circle!
Now I'm in the
Don't
groove.
leave me! Thanks for the healing.
Watch yourself, okay?
Yeah, you too.
Even this. Big blast.
Not done yet!
Illumination
Demon Fang!
Come forth!
I'm on it.
Only one!
Demon Fang!
Anything in armor is all mine.
By the power of flame! Finish without a
Armor
trace!
won't save. I'll finish you here and now.
Solid Sword! Gonna attack!
Right, watch out!
Just getting started.
Where are you going?
I'm on
Double
it.
Demon Fang!
It's time.
Incineration Wave!
Beyond the Mega Ray! I hold it!
Take arrow. Rip it through.
Lost! You alright?
Yeah.
He's off! Go for it!
Prepare to crumble.
The hell was that thing?
Probably something that was made here and somehow managed to survive, even after all this time. Not that there's any way of knowing now.
What's wrong?
Oh, I just suddenly found myself contemplating what might have happened to the sovereigns that were meant to emerge from the crown contests.
What do you mean?
You see, the winners of the past crown contests were all strong astral arts practitioners. Furthermore, that enemy we just fought appeared to be composed of several human bodies. It was certainly nothing one would find in nature.
You're saying those were the remains of the winners? That they forgot who they once were?
I'm merely saying it's a possibility.
That's absolutely gruesome. How long had the Helganquil been at this?
It was Rena's great spirit that made them do all of this. Anything to get its astral energy.
We're not gonna jump down, right?
I certainly hope not.
After hearing Dolium's suggestion, I'm honestly not sure what to say.
I assure you all, I was merely stating the possibility.
So, looks like the Helganquil have been engineering Zeugles too. Why doesn't that surprise me at this point?
The creatures we've been encountering here have been a little different to what we're used to fighting, but I'm pretty sure they're Zeugles too.
Do you think they were engineered using creatures native to the area?
Indeed. However, based on the current circumstances, I would guess these Zeugles are all that's left of the planet's fauna now.
You mean, there might have been native owl species here once upon a time too?